Denmark is a very tiny country in Europe, and finally we made it to my home country that looks like a little face. And in one of my latest videos I got the request, do Denmark from Calibo edits. Well Calibo, your request has been accepted, so now I'm gonna rank the best roller coasters in my home country Denmark. And as always I've collected 15 of the best roller coasters. So sit back, relax and enjoy this video. And coming in at spot number 15 we have Fårup at Fårup Sommerland. And this roller coaster is a family Vekoma boomerang coaster that opened in 2017. This roller coaster is located in the beautiful forest of Fårup Sommerland in the northern regions near the ocean in Denmark. And Fårup actually is the best Vekoma family boomerang I've tried. If you sit in the front row, this ride gives a bit of floater airtime throughout all these hills, but the backward section is just too slow personally for me. Fårup's layout actually dives into the woods and under and over pathways, so it looks so cool. The scenic location gives this coaster an extra point. And coming in at spot number 14 we have Rutschebanen at Bakken. And Bakken is actually known for being the oldest amusement park in the whole world. And this is where the old refurbished wooden roller coaster Rutchebanen is located. This wooden roller coaster is a side friction coaster and it dates all the way back to the 1930s. Rutchebanen has a very classic wooden roller coaster layout with a turn and a drop, a turn and a drop and so on. And this roller coaster also features a few double down elements which gives great airtime. And this is the only roller coaster in the world where you go through the legs of a naked lady. I don't really know whose idea that was. And coming in at spot number 13 we have Hønen at BonBon-Land. And this Hønen roller coaster really is a great Gerslauer spinning roller coaster. This roller coaster starts out with the typical sharp turns, and then after that you have a very twisty layout with a lot of helixes and spinning. All of these Gerslauer coasters have a lot of block zones, but they don't slow down the train. And that's what really makes these roller coasters great, because they keep the pacing throughout the whole ride. There's no slowing down, man. I like that. And coming in at spot number 12 we have Polar Explorer at Legoland Billund. This is actually a Sira family roller coaster, and this is a very beautifully themed family roller coaster located in the Polar section. And these roller coaster trains looks cool. They are snowmobiles, and this really is a custom designed family roller coaster layout that dodges in and out of this iceberg. And this layout puts a decent amount of forces, and it also feels quite fast. And when you finally thought this roller coaster layout was done, it has a drop track element also. And then this roller coaster has a weird post layout section where you can look to the left and then you apparently can see penguins. So a bit weird but cool roller coaster. And coming in at spot number 11 we have Mine Train Ulven at Bakken. And yet again the world's oldest amusement park takes another point. And this Mine Train Ulven roller coaster is a very rare intimate model. And this roller coaster has a very compact layout that is hidden in the woods. But let me tell you, this roller coaster really is forceful and crazy. Mine Train Ulven has a forceful layout with many twists and turns that give strong positive G-forces. But the star of the show is the first drop. This first drop is very steep, and compared with the crazy head chopper where people won't even put their hands up. Damn. Now coming in at spot number 10 we have Orkanen at Fårup Sommerland. And Fårup Sommerland takes another point with the very popular family suspended coaster by Vekoma. And in my opinion this roller coaster has one of the coolest and most scenic locations for a coaster. Orkanen starts off with a great first drop that dives under and then into an overbank that flies over the water. After that the train shortly flies over the water very low to the ground. It feels like your feet hit the water. And after that you have the typical family suspended coaster layout with helixes. But this really is a great layout with positive G-forces. Combined with a cool location and decent theming and mists through the tunnels, you have a great family coaster. And coming in at spot number 9 we have Dæmonen at Tivoli Gardens. And this coaster is a B&M flawless roller coaster model located in the middle of Copenhagen. And let me be honest, this roller coaster looks way better than it rides. This coaster has a very weird pre-lift section with a few turns, and then it drops down giving no airtime, but then you have a decent vertical loop, and after that you have a decent Immelman inversion, and then you have a half whippy 0G roll. After that you have a few turns, and then Dæmonen finally is done. Even though this is a really short layout and the positive G-forces are just decent, the ride experience is very smooth and it looks so beautiful in Tivoli Gardens. And coming in at spot number 8 we have Lynet at Fårup Sommerland. And this is a very rare 6-seater Gerslauer launch roller coaster. So we all know, being a Gerslauer, these over-the-shoulder restraints are very uncomfy. But the first section on Lynet is world class. You have a very punchy launch, a ejector airtime filled top hat, and then another ejector airtime filled camelback hill. After that you have another section with 2 floaty inversions with a 0G roll and a corkscrew, and this is where it gets unpleasant. This ride is a bit rattly, so it could lead to some headbanging. The last section on Lynet stays low to the ground with high speed turns and twists. This coaster layout could be one of the best if it had lap bar designs. And coming in at spot number 7 we have Tornado at Bakken. This coaster really is a one-of-a-kind intimate thrill ride spinning coaster. And the crazy thing about this roller coaster is that it has a tiny launch when you hit the top of the lift hill. This roller coaster layout really is crazy. It's short, but the pacing is just so crazy and the spinning is just out of control. This infamous spinning coaster has a boost mode which makes the ride experience even faster. This boost mode is so crazy that it makes Tornado one of the most intense coasters coasters on earth. And now coming in at spot number 6, we have DrageKongen at Djurs, and Fårup Sommerland's rival Djurs finally takes a spot on the list. DrageKongen is part of the very rare coaster model called the Family Suspended Coaster by Intamin. This roller coaster layout is lengthier and more intense than the Vekoma suspended coasters. And funny enough, this roller coaster has a pre-lift section with an indoor launch. And the rest of the layout features a great drop, a great positive G-force heavy overbank, and many twists and turns that are low to the ground. This roller coaster design really pulls some positive G-forces. The only negative thing I can say about this roller coaster is that this has a bit of rattle, unfortunately. And coming in at spot number 5, we have Falken at Fårup Sommerland. And this is a small and very rare S&S wooden roller coaster model. And let me tell you, I have a mixed bag of feelings about this roller coaster. This wooden roller coaster really has a great layout with forceful turns, a good helix in the end, and you have great airtime moments on this coaster. Here we're talking sustained decent flowjector airtime, but we have a little problem, and that's the roughness of this coaster. This coaster can be very shaky and rough, and that is especially on the first turn, and the worst thing is the last helix on this ride. I have a little picture from when I was a kid where I rode this coaster, and the last helix almost kills me. And coming in at spot number 4, we have Rutschebanen at Tivoli Gardens. Wait a minute, this coaster has the same name as Bakken's wooden roller coaster, but translated to English we actually call this roller coaster the old wooden roller coaster because it dates all the way back to 1917. And one of the oldest wooden roller coasters in the world is actually the best in Denmark. This coaster is very special. It goes through an old mountain, and on top of that you have brakemen on the trains. But if you sit in the back row of this roller coaster, these airtime hills gives ejector airtime. This old woody is just endless fun with ejector airtime in the back row. To be honest, this coaster wouldn't even make the list if you sat in the front row. That is too boring, man. And now coming in on 3rd place, we have Juvelen at Djurs. And this coaster is a launch motorbike family roller coaster by Intamin. And let me tell you, this so-called family attraction is one of the best family attractions in the whole world. This roller coaster is very fast-paced and very intense, and you also have 2 aggressive tire launches. The best part of this ride is after the second launch, where you aggressively stay low to the ground through twists and turns. These positive G-forces are just heavy right here. So a lengthy and intense motorbike launch coaster by Intamin. Damn, great coaster. And now coming in on 2nd place, we have Piraten at Djurs. This is a very rare Intamin mega light roller coaster, and this is by far one of the best smaller scale roller coasters in the whole world. This ride overall is a strong mix of positive G-forces and negative G-forces. You start the ride off with a decent drop and a low to the ground turn with a lot of positive G-forces. After that you go into an iconic airtime filled layout where you have tall airtime moments with decent airtime, but after that you have 3 consecutive S-hill turns, and these are just great. You get strong ejector airtime through them all, and after that you have 2 decent floater airtime hills. And let me tell you, it was a very close race between Piraten and the next one. And coming in at spot number 1, we have the Dog Fart coaster. This is by far the most thrilling roller coaster in the whole world, and on top of that this roller coaster is themed to a dog pooping. BonBon-Land is lucky to have the best roller coaster in the whole world right here, and of course this one was just a joke. And coming in on the real first place is Phoenix at Fårup Sommerland. And yes, this was a very close race between Piraten and Phoenix, because this next gen Vekoma Wildcat roller coaster really is great. The airtime doesn't really hit as strong as the Intamin Piraten, but this roller coaster layout offers much more variety, and it's also very much longer. This coaster offers a much better first drop with ejector airtime in the back row. After that you have a cool stall loop that gives hang time, and then you have a hard line roll with a lot of whip. You also have a cool corkscrew through the station, and after that you just have a dozen airtime hills. And these airtime hills aren't as strong as on Piraten, but you have a decent floater combination. So this is why Phoenix is the best coaster in Denmark. And if we quickly look at the parks with the most coasters on this list, we have Fårup Sommerland with 4 total coasters. After that we have Djurs with 3 total coasters, and then we also have Bakken with 3 total coasters. And I can't really say that Fårup Sommerland is the best park for roller coasters, because Djurs has spot number 2 and spot number 3 on this list. And without Phoenix at number 1, the rest of Fårup Sommerland's coasters is in the mid tiers and the low tiers of this list. So now we've finally come to an end of this video. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments. Have I missed some roller coasters? Do you agree or disagree with my opinion? And then at the end of the day, I'm always gonna say bye bye.